What's going on, guys? This is Logan here today at Vaporleaf with the Kangertech ToGo Mini 2. This is a tiny little all-in-one style device with no adjustment or anything like that. Built-in 1.9 milliliter tank, and as far as the battery goes, the interesting thing is I've seen a few different numbers. The one in the manual in this says 1700 milliamp hours. I've seen a website that says 2100 milliamp hours, but I'm just going to go with 1700 milliamp hours because that's what's in the manual. The other thing is it says it fires up to about 15 watts, but it's also compatible with down to 0.15 ohm coils, which is also pretty strange because you'd probably need more than 15 watts to run a coil like that. So I guess the takeaway there is there's not a whole lot of information out there about this device. The manual itself is very sparse. There are confusing and contradicting numbers, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at it anyway and see what we can figure out about it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with what you get inside of the box here. Surprisingly large box for such a small little device. You get your user manual, as well as an authenticity card. Some little tools for replacing the glass. You get your extra glass piece in there, some spare O-rings, and a screwdriver to get it off. I'll show you that in a minute. You've got your micro USB cable. It's a little guy, but it is color-coded. And then, of course, you have the device itself. Now, you can probably see that juice creeping in there. We have already set this guy up and tried it out a little bit. And also the empty space in the box there is where the coil comes. Now, the first thing I notice about this device is the finish. I don't even really know what kind of finish this is, but it's kind of cool. It's got this really interesting kind of raw metal texture to it all over, but it seems pretty durable so far, which is actually kind of unusual for Kanger, in my opinion. But really nice color too. I mean, this is the orange one, as you can see, and it's a really nice bright orange. It's pretty cool. Up top, you've got this little screen here, which when you push the fire button, just gives you some dots there. That's basically just telling you how much battery you have left in it. You got those little screws so that you can get the glass out of there if that were to break. You've got your airflow up top, which is adjustable, and in fact, if you adjust it all the way closed, you've actually got a little pinhole right there. And it's only on one side, so that's going to be your really tight mouth-to-lung draw inhale, and then your big lung draw. Mouthpiece just comes out with that single O-ring in there. You've got your max fill line way down here, because you have to fit that big old CLOCC coil in there. You got your micro USB on this side, of course your fire button there, and down on bottom you have a little bit of ventilation and some words. If we open up the top here, that's just going to unscrew. Pull that out, we have our enormous coil assembly, for this device at least. I mean, look at the size of it in comparison to the rest of the device. Again, that is your CLOCC coil. The one that comes with it is a 1 ohm, and it works pretty nicely with this device. 1 ohm isn't going to be too terribly hungry, it's not going to be too terribly powerful, and it's not going to be super weak either. And the interesting thing is I've tried it with both the airflow all the way closed and all the way open, and it works both ways. That's pretty unusual for a coil to actually function like that, so for that I'm pretty impressed with it. Now obviously, since you can't really change any settings or anything, this is going to be the pretty short part of the video, but as I said, you got your battery life when you hit the fire button. It's 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. So let's go ahead and bring it up top and see how it vapes. Alright, so we've got that 1 ohm coil in there, I've got the airflow all the way open. Let's see how it does. Surprisingly well. I did have to take a really long draw to get that much vapor, but I mean, given the size, the simplicity, the power level, it's pretty good. There's basically no heat to it, so if you're stepping up from a lower powered device, it's going to be a pretty easy change. A lot of people kind of get choked out going for really big, high powered, hot things straight away, and I think that would be pretty easy to do with this guy. It's not really going to be that intense for anybody. Let's go ahead and try closing the airflow off, see what that does. Hey, that's not bad output either. Let's compare that with my iCare. This is a 1.1 ohm coil, so functionally these should be pretty close. And they are. The Kanger is actually a little bit more powerful, and at that it has a 0.1 milliliter larger tank, so it's got that going for it. The battery is much larger as well. That's the trade for size there. With the tiny little iCare, you get a 650 milliamp hour battery. With this one, you get something, 1700, 2100, no one really knows apparently, but again, we're going to go with 1700. So, much, much larger battery. So, you know, I charge this thing at least once a day, sometimes as many as 4 times, really. This thing, I imagine, would get you through at least one day without any kind of issue, even if you're chugging on it all day long. As far as hand feel goes, I'm actually kind of impressed. The little fat oval shape is pretty comfortable. It misses my pinky finger, which feels a little strange, but it's really not bad. And if you prefer to hold it with the thumb on the fire button, that's actually almost better. Altogether, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the simplicity. They made something that just works, and they're not gonna let you screw it up by changing settings. The adjustable airflow is perfectly adequate. I get plenty of airflow when it's wide open, and I get a nice tight mouth-to-lung draw when it's all the way closed. I think they hit their goal. Just a simple, small device that can either put out a really good amount of vapor production or a decent amount of vapor production, whether you want to have a big lung hit or a mouth-to-lung hit. It's just a really nice little device. It's nice pocket size as well. So yeah, that's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, then please leave a like for me. If you have any questions about the device itself, then please leave a comment. We love talking to you guys. We love answering your questions. And for all the latest and greatest videos from Vaporleaf, be sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.